Okay, it is 6:01. Call this meeting in session with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lewis. Not sure. Trustee Pine.
Here.
Trustee Markey.
Here.
Mayor Allen.
Here.
Trustee Patton.
Here.
Trustee O'Malley.
Here.
And Deputy Mayor Ryan.
Here.
And Attorney Gomez.
I heard mayor and I thought you were going to say Mayor Pat.
I was just going to be quiet for a minute.
I was going to say Mayor Patton.
All right, first announcement. DEC sent out, I think yesterday or the day before, the Save the Date announcement. We are going to have the alternate water supply study presentation on Wednesday, October 23rd at Hoosick Falls Central School. There will be a presentation at 6 p.m. They will have availability sessions in the gymnasium between 3 and 5. I think it's supposed to be actually 3:30 and 5. 3 to 5. 3 and 5 is wrong. It's 3:30 and to 5. And additionally, 7:30 to 9 p.m. The availability session will be in the gym. Will just be a bunch of different tables set up for different various things that people can wander to and have sort of individual one-on-one talks. The presentation at 6 will recognize, I think, the village, the town, the community participation working group, and then DEC, DOH will say, just give a few quick brief updates, and then I think they're turning it over to company representatives who were the ones who put the report together to present the report and then take questions.
Turning it over to who?
What's that? The companies, the polluters, or the engineering firm brought on by the company/polluters. They'll be the ones presenting the report.
And do you believe that they're actually going to present the report? Because the public announcement didn't say that. They said they're going to provide an update on the alternate
I
water
think,
supply.
no, I think the report we presented, I think in the next couple of days it will be released wide for everybody.
Okay.
I'm kind of expecting or I guess hoping / expecting that people will have access to it by Friday.
Okay.
As soon as I hear something, I'll of course send it out to you guys.
Okay. And I won't be here at that meeting, so I apologize.
Yep, no, that's all right. That's all right. And I know that there will be a 30-day comment period once it's released, so there'll be a lot of time for people to make comments. My concern is that there just aren't going to be enough people here, and this is, I know it's been like a 4 or 5 year endeavor, this whole thing, with more to go, but this needs to be a well-attended meeting because this is a huge deal. This is the future water source, so please get the word out to people that you know, and you bring all your friends to the meeting. But no, in all seriousness, I hope people make it out. Okay, tonight we have, as we posted on the website, sometime middle or late last week, the agreement between Honeywell and the village relating to the hazard mitigation costs for the sanitary sewer improvement project near the John Street Superfund site. I have a copy of the resolution, which is this one here, resolution authorizing acceptance of funds. That's fine. Do you want me to wait?
I'll read that. Yeah, I read it, so I'm ready.
Okay. Shall I read a few of the whereases and then go right to the, okay. So this is the resolution authorizing acceptance of funds and execution of agreement with Honeywell International Incorporated regarding sanitary sewer improvement projects. Whereas the Village of Hoosick Falls owns and operates a municipal sanitary sewer system that provides sanitary services to the residents of the village, and whereas the village is undertaking a large-scale sanitary sewer improvement project in the village, and whereas a portion of the sewer improvement project is located in the area of John Street, Superior Street, Lyman Street, and Water Street, which is in proximity to the New York State DEC Inactive Hazardous Waste Site ID 442049, known as the former Oak Materials Floorglass Division site, John Street, currently owned by Honeywell International Incorporated. And whereas investigations undertaken by New York State DEC and our Honeywell at the John Street site have identified contamination of groundwater and soils. And whereas as a result of the proximity of the sanitary sewer improvement project to the John Street site, New York State DEC required the village to prepare an environmental work plan to identify the manner in which impacted soil and groundwater would be managed as part of the sanitary sewer improvement projects. And whereas the village has incurred increased costs for the sanitary sewer improvement project and will incur future costs for that project as a result of the management of contaminated soil and groundwater due to the proximity of the John Street site. And whereas Honeywell International Incorporated has agreed to pay certain of the costs associated with the sanitary sewer improvement project that the Village of Hoosick Falls has incurred or may incur for management of the contaminated soil and groundwater as part of that project. And whereas a reimbursement and payment agreement has been proposed for the payments as described here and above in the form and content as set forth in Exhibit A attached to this resolution. As a note, Exhibit A is the agreement that's on our website. Whereas the Village Board of Trustees has reviewed and duly deliberated on the proposed reimbursement and payment agreement with respect to the payments as described herein above and as set forth in Exhibit A attached hereto and seeks to approve such agreements. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls in special session duly convened as follows. 1. The Board of Trustees of the Village of Hoosick Falls hereby approves the reimbursement and payment agreement in the form and content as set forth in Exhibit A attached to this resolution, and further hereby authorizes the mayor to execute such agreement on behalf of the Village of Hoosick Falls. Looking for someone to offer the resolution?
I'll offer that.
I'll second.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ben. Any discussion from the board? Or Andy, anything you want to add or summarize?
Just important again to note that this agreement is.
And there's a copy of the agreement up here in case anybody needs a hard copy of it.
Is limited to the costs, additional costs to manage the soil and groundwater by the village for the sewer improvement project. It defines those costs in the agreement. The payment is for those costs only, and that, be aware, Honeywell reserves all of its rights for matters not addressed in this agreement, and the village reserves all of its rights for costs not addressed in this agreement. That's an important point because it just keeps everyone status quo on any other issues not associated with these soil and groundwater management costs associated with the sewer project.
So we're not giving up anything.
You're not giving up any rights. The only thing you give up under this agreement are any claims for the costs associated with managing the contaminated soil and groundwater in connection with the sewer improvement project. And in exchange for giving up those rights, Honeywell is paying you $475,000.
And if it doesn't, excuse me, if we don't incur $475,000 worth of cost, we are still keep the difference, correct? The balance.
Correct.
I was down there a couple of times. At the times I was down there, they hadn't encountered any VOCs or
Yeah.
groundwater.
We haven't had much rain. A lot of the things are low right now, so the water table is lower. So a lot of the work that they've been doing hasn't encountered it yet, which is good. Now, with tomorrow's rain in open trenches, that will cause some issues that have to be managed. But so far so good. There will be a portion as they start to head under Church Street to cross over to the
To the railroad, by the road.
To the Greenway.
no to the Greenway.
Greenway, right,
Yeah.
the old road.
Well,
I'm
they
sorry,
will
the old
have
road.
they have to go under the
Sewer main that's already there.
it's not the sewer main, the culvert, the Woodsbrook culvert. They're gonna have to dig under that and send the pipe under, and that will likely be low enough where they'll hit the water table. But so far so good, which has been nice. So, anything else on the board? I did build in a people to be heard. So does anybody here want to speak up on this agreement? Yes, sir. And I just sorry, I forget to say this. As we do in all meetings, everything's recorded. And please state your name and address, and then take it away.
Lauren Odell, 40 Lyman Street.
Thank you.
So this is really impacting me a lot. My understanding is this was postponed, the work being done down there because of this.
Yes.
By what he said, they're having to work longer and harder right now and bring more equipment in, I take it, to try to get this done before snow flies.
In a sense,
'Cause-
yes. There was a delay because we needed to have a plan, and DEC had to authorize it, and so on and so
No,
forth.
right. So I'm assuming the cost to us is going to increase because we're making them work longer and we're the ones who stopped them from working, or DEC stopped them from working. And my understanding is that does not cover that cost. Because that is for the removal and work of the soil, which he just stated, and said has nothing to do with them having to work longer and harder because it was delayed.
The delay, them packing up and then having to come back and remobilize is not covered in this. That's something that we as a board are aware of, and we've been discussing with the engineers, and there may be something that happens later about that.
Because that would be Honeywell's fault that it was delayed because of something they did.
There's a couple questions as to who is at blame. The other possibility exists.
Well, on those
Yeah.
issues, not to.
No, that's
interrupt you.
fine. That's fine.
That issue, the village of Hoosick Falls was aware of that issue, the potential for delay damages, and we're reviewing that. But you are correct, this agreement does not address any potential claims for delay damages by contract.
Right, yeah, because you clarified that as soon as you said that,
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
was a question I was going to have.
Yeah.
Right.
It does cover, bringing in the environmental firm to help put the plan together. It covers all the extra equipment that had to come down before this. But you are correct.
Because at the rate they're going, snow flies, they stop doing pavement the 15th, I believe, of November.
Depending on when the
Well,
asphalt.
it's in Peckham's,
Yeah.
shut
Yeah,
down.
it's up to
you're correct.
Peckham's, but
Yeah.
yeah, and at the rate they're going, it's not going to be done on my street.
One thing that they had this past week, was it late last week, early this week, they ran into an old main that they didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And that added a couple days because they had to figure out where it went and so on and so forth. But it always happens when you open up the ground, you anticipate what's
And
there.
no, and I totally understand that, but this late in the year,
Oh yeah,
those delays are things that,
yeah. We are.
my street has been bad for long before you've been mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been said it was going to be paved because of the sewer, they didn't pave it forever. Now
Right.
it looks like it's gonna be dirt this year.
It will be, regardless of, even
Has
if they
the village
finished it ahead of
taken that
time.
into account as far as what they're gonna do with the snow and the dirt that they try to plow down our street?
It is very much on our radar. We are hoping that they can push through this. And there was even a call recently, a construction call where they were talking. We wanted to make sure that they understood we want this to be complete, and we're going to push as far as we can to get as much as we can done. I don't know if they would do a full pavement now, or if they would do kind of a general pave, and next year, after the ground is settled for a year, do a full pave. That's how we've done the other projects throughout the village, up on Snow Street, Rensselaer Street, a couple other places where we had, and a lot of the flood repair. We would do a general patch the 1 year, wait for it to settle, and then the following year do a full pave. I know either this year we get that done or next year we get that done, but that is
Yeah,
going to be
because the
done.
dirt will be a real big issue if they have to plow
Yes.
dirt down near the
Yes.
wall, because then that runs into the wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plugs that up.
No, we are very much aware that we are coming up right to the wire in terms of getting this taken care of. So,
Okay.
yes. Thank you for your concern, but yeah, we are, and I know we're all kind of sweating, and we were trying to get them to come back at a certain time, but everything is moving forward, and hopefully things will go well, especially with the water table being lower. Hopefully that alleviates some
And they
time.
know they can't block our street off at all, right?
Yes, you guys got,
One side or the other always has to be open.
yeah.
Okay, as long as they know
That's the
that,
case, yeah.
I'm good with that.
Did you guys get a
No.
thing saying?
Yeah, in, I don't know, May, that they were gonna do this in 5 days?
And then it never happened because they demobilized.
They
and
never said they weren't gonna do it.
and then you never got to
they've
start
never come
back
back and said they're doing it, when it's being done, or anything else.
up.
You need to follow up with MRB on that.
Absolutely
Yeah.
need to
We're
find
We're the
that
ones who
again.
had to call up for our garbage to be picked up, because the garbage couldn't come down, so.
Did they pick it up yet?
Yes, they picked it up today.
Good, I called them.
And it wasn't
Thank
the
you.
garbage people. I have
No,
nothing-
it's not their
Yeah,
fault,
no,
I mean,
right?
it's not their fault, they just.
It
it
says
was
road
brutal
closed,
for
they
them
can't
to
go
do
through.
it. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah,
none of your neighbors and friends down there got heads up we're doing this
No,
notification.
no, other than I went out and talked to them when they were digging the,
Okay.
front up. They dug in front of all of the yards on, going down the street on the left.
Which street are they doing right now? I forget which one they're on. Are they on Lyman right now?
No, they're on Superior right now.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for bringing that up. We will follow up with them.
Until it's done, you think you could have no parking on the corner where the sandbar is? I've asked the clerk, and they sent me to Stoll. And they both told me they couldn't do anything. You guys couldn't
Which
do
corner,
anything.
Rock?
Right on the corner where the bar is itself. And the fence right here and all the work they're doing is here, and the corner's right here.
I will check.
There's a 5-way intersection right there.
I'll check with
They
Neil.
moved the fence out a third of the way into the road.
Yeah, I was by there yesterday.
In the sandbar, people that work there have to park right there
Yeah.
because they're too lazy to walk down the road.
Let me
It's real dangerous.
let me check with Neil. Do you have his number?
No, but I can get it.
But I asked him and he told me he couldn't do anything. It had to do with just those guys. And I know that's not true.
I'll double check. I'll get back to you. Can you just?
Roger, what's your number?
Let's see, 802-733.
Yeah.
4391.
It's on the
my
record.
work
He
phone.
doesn't call
It's
himself.
my work phone, they buy it, so
Okay.
I have to really think.
I'll try to get back to you on Friday about that.
All right,
I'll find out
thanks.
some. Thank you.
733-4391.
4391, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I know that the sandbar's not happy about the whole arrangement either.
And
And they're-
I feel bad for them, don't get me wrong, but with the kids there and whenever a train goes by, everybody wants to go under the underpass and they go through there quick.
I
Yeah.
agree. No,
It's just
a
very,
nightmare
very
right now.
dangerous right there.
It
I have
is.
a granddaughter down there, the school bus gets picked up right there at the sandbar. None of that has anything to do with you guys, I don't think any of you were on the board when that was built, so.
Okay. All
It's
right.
a nightmare,
All right. All right. Thank you.
yeah, thanks.
Anyone else? All right. We have the resolution introduced and seconded. I think at this point we can do a roll call vote.
Trustee Pine?
Yes.
Trustee O'Malley?
Yes.
Trustee Patton?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis absent. Trustee Markey?
Yes.
Mayor Allen?
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
All right, and passes unanimously. Thank you. The next item, in terms of the Woodsbrook CDBG grant with the town of Hoosick, this is the one that's working on controlling the Woodsbrook as it comes down into the village, separate from the buyout. We have one resolution, which has the proposed action on the top. This one is sort of the next step in the seeker process. This is a resolution establishing Village of Hoosick Falls Village Board as lead agency and determining that the action to proceed with the Woodsbrook Drainage Improvement Project, all phases, is a type 1 action and will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. I'm going to skip right to the now therefore be it resolved on page 2. Now therefore be it resolved pursuant to and in accordance with the coordinated review requirements of seeker that the Village of Hoosick Falls hereby establishes itself as lead agency for the project, and be it further resolved that based upon an examination of the FEAF and the criteria set forth in 6 NYCRR Part 617, and considering both the magnitude and importance of each relevant area of environmental concern, the Village Board makes the following findings and determinations. A, the project constitutes a Type 1 action, as the quoted term is defined in the regulations, and the Village Board has conducted a coordinated review. And B, no potentially significant adverse impacts on the environment are noted on the FEAF, and none are known to the Village Board. Be it further resolved that as a consequence of such finding and the determinations in compliance with the requirements of seeker and the regulations, the Village Board directs the Village Mayor to file the negative declaration notice for the project and keep it readily available for the project file. And be it further resolved that all subsequent notices and references concerning this project and seeker review shall note that the Village Board has issued a negative declaration. Further, be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Looking for someone to offer.
Motion.
Second.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Ben. We did have a little bit of a back and forth question. One of the things that came up actually is there's rules on when to cut trees down in terms of bat hibernation. That was a fun little lesson learned.
Regarding what?
Bat hibernation.
Bat hibernation. I forget the exact breed of bat, but there's certain.
White nose
they-
bat?
No, it's an
Northern
ear bat.
long-eared bat.
What is it?
The northern long-eared bat.
Thank you. When they hibernate, they apparently go in caves, but when they're not hibernating, they're in trees or there's
That's
certain
right.
times. Whatever. We looked. They're good. Everything's figured out. So this is sort of the next thing in the process for that. Anything else you want to comment on?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Any other questions or discussions?
No.
Besides fascinating topics on a bat? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Markey?
Yes.
Trustee Lewis is absent. Trustee O'Malley?
Yes.
Trustee Patton?
Yes.
Trustee Pine?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Ryan?
Yes.
And Mayor Allen?
Yes. All right. Thank you. Next item. Okay, so in terms of the sanitary sewer improvement project, and MRB is our engineering firm, they had 2 requests, and Emily, I'm so sorry that you have to figure out what this means in context of everything else that has gone on. Amendment 6 is the first thing. It's the one that's dated September 24th. We were actually asked to bring this up to you guys a day before the regular meeting last week, and too much. Basically, in previous amendments, after we redesigned it from one project to two to get the bidding price to come down, which worked, they had a previous amendment that we approved that put a lot of extra money, additional money, I forget the exact amount, but I think I have it here, into construction observation. And we at the time first didn't approve it and approved two parts of it, and then later approved it, but we sort of asked the question, why is there such an increase in the construction observation funds? I think it brought it, it was about $85,000, I feel like, or 80 something thousand dollars.
85 the budget line will be recorded for the observation based on the, what are we talking about?
Yeah, yeah. And the basic gist was that's what we determined is going to be needed. Now, what they are asking us to do is to take those funds that they expected to have needed and shift them over into three different observation related, from observation to other related engineering costs. A lot of this is related to the hazardous mitigation. They're asking that 37,000
Yeah.
move over from the observation
37, 53,
to
56.
to the administration side, which in a lot would cover a lot of the expenses of everything related to all the hazardous mitigation stuff, in a sense. A lot of back and forth talking, planning, and so on and so forth. There was an additional
97, 76.
Yep. From observation into engineering, and there is an additional 24,000 laid out for, I think it was an additional 3 months of work.
For mitigation, future mitigation services.
So in a sense, it's taking the money that they thought they would need for observation, they didn't need for observation, and shifting it over to needs that have come up, in a way, it doesn't lower the maximum cost. So in a sense, they're saying, hey, it doesn't actually change the total overall project. It's just frustrating to see that a number that we thought was wrong turns out to be wrong, and they want to send it over to things that will intend, in a sense,
So in essence,
go back to them.
We thought that there was going to be a surplus for us, or not use that much money, and now they're transferring it to other services required.
Or expected to be required.
Expected.
Yes.
Don't we think that because of them not being on top of things, they caused the increase in cost?
On that issue, I did speak with the mayor. If, before the board considers or acts on that request, I'd like the chance, and in my office have the chance to look at any impact, any approval of an amendment to engineering services would have on any claim over in the event there's a delay damages claim brought by the contractors. We want to make sure the village's rights are fully reserved on that. You'll recall that the village did place your engineers on notice that the village would hold them responsible for any delay damages from the contractors. We just want to make sure we have the chance to review that proposal to make sure that it doesn't impact any claim over by the village against the engineers in the event the village is faced with a claim for delay damages by our contractors. So we'd like to review that issue.
Is there any urgency that we act on this tonight?
I'd rather not. I actually want to have someone from MRE come out and speak to the board's concerns and also give a chance to you.
Is there even any urgency that we act on this before the project's complete?
That's a fair question. I don't know what position MRB would take because they will be conducting some additional services that are currently not within a scope of services agreement. So we'll have to look at that issue too.
Yeah. I mean,
But they are aware that, that they certainly are aware that this is the result of their inept
Well, they're aware of the village's position,
Okay.
that,
Right.
that we,
The reason I ask about doing this before the project's done, have we received any reports on construction and observation that they're taking the money out of? Have we gotten any reports from MRB?
I have
regarding
gotten
that?
some basic invoices which do not give me.
Invoice isn't a report.
No. It sort of explains what the costs are and how they got there, but it doesn't have the detail I would
There's
like to see.
no documentation
So-
supporting those costs.
Just the invoices they've given us.
So for example, in number 2, it says additional engineering services. The 9776 that's been expended and invoiced, have we looked at those invoices yet? Have we seen them?
Yes, I have the invoices, but they're more vague than I would like them to be.
Okay, well,
It's like here's the number and
my understanding is there's been a request for further clarification.
yes.
Okay.
On this and on a couple other things.
Right.
I mean, not,
When I was down there, Rich was there along with their clerk of the works, or whatever they call him, their manager. And I
punch 'em.
talked to both of them
I
for a
like
while.
this. I like
But
that.
But I agree with you, Craig. I mean, to me, there's no sense of urgency to certainly act on this and authorize additional funds for MRB until the project, unless they ask for it, I guess, they're,
We may get some pushback because, in a sense, what they're saying is the construction administration costs that were set aside, they've already gone through because they had to take on all the additional administration costs related to the hazardous mitigation side of it. So they could say, well, look, we need this to be decided soon.
They could. They've already spent the money though. Their chance to play that card in my book was before they spent the money.
It's fair. Would you guys want Rich to come here at the next regular board meeting
I
and
think
talk
so.
through
Yeah,
this?
I
Yes.
would, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And we also really haven't had time to go
And
through
I-
and digest this.
And I want to get you guys more documents and sort of walk through all the procedures because so much has happened on this. Okay.
I think that'd be fair that we got our chance to hear their side of it and justification
Okay.
for this
all right. And
before
the,
we act on it.
the other thing is the change order 2, which is related to the modification of replacing the leachate line. And this is something again where I've requested some documents to back up both the request, get some more information on the request and what exactly is going on there, as well as the timeline of the request versus the timeline of the
So
change
that's
order.
looking at, like $34,000 additional, is that correct? 20,000.
No, it's an increase of 14.3.
Yeah, but what's this one here? The increase of 20,875.
That was the previous change order 1.
Okay.
So that's a previously approved change order. This is the third one here is where it is prior to this change order. This is the increase right here.
Right, but the total increase,
14,003.
based on the 2 change orders, is $34,000.
Yes.
35,175, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is this also a change order for work that has been already completed?
That is another question I'm waiting to get backup from because my impression from MRB was no, but my impression from Neil was I think so.
Why is this being done again? Because the village did this.
It's not the whole line. It's like about 5 years before my time, but not much before my time. It's a portion of that, and I think it would also have to. I think they're also the leachate line goes to I think a collection tank, and I think that the sewer project is putting in a new collection tank, so it would have to be done anyway once it goes onto the track. But this is additional work as well. So again, I'm looking for more documentation. So I'm very content to table these
Table
until
this.
the next meeting. So I guess I'd look for a motion to table.
Are we gonna do them individually or both?
You can do them collectively.
Okay.
Alright.
I'd be glad to make that motion. We table this till our regular board meeting of November.
Okay.
I'll second it.
There you go.
Emily, got it. All right.
Wow.
I'd like to know more about it.
Further discussion?
It's funny that, almost comical that they, on the change order, that they have things that like increase and decrease, and decrease is always gonna be crossed out. It's never smaller, it's always larger.
Haven't seen a
Why do you
decrease
even
yet.
bother putting that on there?
Haven't
Because it's,
seen one. If I get one of those, I will frame it.
You might as well just put a big plus sign there and then just put the number next to it.
All in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Last thing, and this is a quick thing that came up today. we had an employee who has some dental needs and was looking into the dental that we offer. And it basically lacked something that he was looking for, the employee. So Denise called and took a look at what other options now. As a starting point, we currently offer all of our employees, both union and non-union, MetLife for dental coverage, which on the email is the cost there in the middle. If you flip it over, Denise found out that we can also offer the Blue Cross, the column on the right, which is Blue Value Dental 3. That is how the plan works. And if you look at the very bottom where there's some handwritten numbers, those are comparisons to what we currently offer.
Wow.
So this plan, I think, is actually better than what we offer and is actually cheaper than what we offer. So Denise said this is absolutely great. It would be great if we offered this. I talked to Elaine Gold, our labor attorney, if we wanted to offer this to our union employee, who would just have to do it through an MOA, approved from both sides. But my recommendation is that we put a motion out there authorizing the village to add the Blue Cross dental coverage as an option to village employees. There's no negative side effect in
Right,
this.
it's gonna be no
It allows
added
employees to
cost
Cost
to the
us
village.
anymore. That's right.
Yep.
It'd be actually a reduction in cost to the village.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Thank you, Emily.
I'll second.
Ben, any further discussion on this?
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Thank you. Anything else you guys want to bring up for the good of the board? If not, exactly double the original 15-minute estimate. I'm looking
That's
for a
right.
motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Can I ask you one question?
Do
Please.
you want it to be in the meeting or
It
after the
doesn't make
meeting?
any difference.
Let's adjourn and then you have me for as long as you need me. So Ben was the motion and second
Craig
was
second.
Was Craig.
Craig. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Meeting adjourns at 6:33 p.m.